Alright, good morning guys. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today I have some garden chores that we need to do. It's actually late in the day for us. It's almost like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But there's some stuff that I've been wanting to get to in the garden. So I figured we could do it together. You guys can just see us harvesting some stuff. I've got to like pick some weeds, so maybe some boring stuff. But I want to plant other things, take out like my broccoli that I got. So we can just do it together and just hang out in the garden. So the kids are out here to help me. And Jackson's bringing the basket. Are you gonna get some tomatoes?
Yeah.
I had brought up my cherry tomato plant the other day because it was storming, but there are definitely some that are ripe enough that we can pick. So I'm gonna have them harvest a couple of these. The ones that are orange, look how he knows. The ones that are orange, those are good enough. You can put them in the basket.
There was the red one.
If there's any that are red or like orangey, you guys can pick those, okay? Be careful with the bee that is on this plant. Eventually, I want to put this plant in the garden. All right.
Hi, Bobby.
Yeah. All right. Put the tomatoes in there. Okay, just the ones that are like orange, remember. The ones that are kind of orangey.
This one's orange.
Put those there.
I like that.
And then we're going to take this plant back to the garden. Okay? Yeah.
We're gonna like do the orange ones and the red ones.
So we've got a bunch of them that, like I said, we're going to harvest now, but then there's still a lot more on this plant that are growing. And then up here, like all of these yellow flowers will turn into tomatoes, but there's a lot that still have a ways to go. So
One more.
we've gotten a lot out of this plant, to be
Can
honest.
I get one more?
Sure. And let Jackson get this one on this side. Well, that one's a little bit not as ripe, but that's fine. It'll ripen in the basket. All right, perfect. I think that's it. I think that's all the little cherry tomatoes. Good job. Now you guys can help me get some lettuce, okay?
Come on, set them lettuce.
Let's go. All right, so it has been raining like crazy over here the last couple days. So it's been a minute since I've been able to like be out here. So I've got a lot of stuff I gotta like throw away, like weeds that I had left in the corner. So the garden's a little bit like out of order and all of that. But I do have some things to show you that I haven't shown you in a little while. Riley, is the corn way taller than you now?
Yeah, it's way taller.
And the sunflowers are taller than you? The sunflowers are over there, Mama. But anyway, the pumpkin plant, look how big that pumpkin plant has gotten. All of that is that pumpkin plant. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is gonna grow into a pumpkin maybe. I'm pretty sure. I've seen it get bigger and bigger. So this is my first time with pumpkin. So I think that that's what's gonna happen there. But anyway, let's not get too distracted. This is a whole bunch of lettuce that we are gonna harvest because otherwise it's gonna go bad. And I'm just gonna work on this week just having a bunch of salad. Some of these leaves you see are already like starting to not do all that great. So let's just harvest some. We'll put them in the fridge and then try to make some salad this week. All right, Jackson, bring the basket over here. Mama's gonna cut up some of this lettuce. Here, maybe you can put this in the basket, okay?
Hey, Jackson, here.
You got to bring the basket over here, Jackson. So there's a bunch of different kinds of lettuce. I'm not even sure what is what. I had told you guys that this was like a chef's assortment of lettuce. So I'll have to research like the seed packet and kind of see what this all is.
Hey, look, it's big.
Those are green beans. We're going to harvest some green beans too. But first I need to do some of this lettuce, okay? So that it doesn't go bad. Here, Jackson, or you can hold it. You want to hold like a lot of it?
Thank you. Yeah, and put it in the basket.
And put it in the basket?
Yeah.
Here you go. Here, pay attention. Give it to Jackson.
Don't worry, I'll put it in when it's all done.
There you go.
Did you? We're gonna make a salad when we get
All right. What is this, Jackson? Lettuce. Oh, bless you. Bless you.
One more. We're gonna make a salad when we're inside, right?
Maybe like for dinner?
No. I think we can make it for...
Well, you know it's almost dinner time, right? Jackson, what's in there?
Butter.
That lettuce?
That's butter.
Is that a lot?
Dad. No, wait a bit. Ah! Wait.
Is it too much?
Yes. Look how much it was like on the floor. Last one.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
Now let's harvest. Hey, look, Mama.
Okay, so there's still a ton of lettuce over there, but I mean, we've pretty much filled this basket. So like Joe and I definitely have salad for tonight. So I'm gonna go put this stuff inside, just get it on the kitchen so that we can come back and we can harvest some green beans. But I'm so thankful and grateful that we have this food. It's just really still all amazing to me.
No,
the fact that like we can
come.
grow stuff here in our backyard and like come out here and gather it. It's like such a cool concept. And it's just still like every time I come out here, like I nerd out over the fact that we can do that. So let me not waste any time because it looks like it's gonna rain soon. So let's put this in the kitchen. I'll be right back.
Hey guys, do you know mosquitoes are biting me so much? I'm so itchy.
All right, so we're gonna do green beans next. We've harvested already quite a few green beans. We've cooked with them like at least twice now. So it's been fun to see like with green beans, like how quickly they continue to make more green beans. So far in the garden, it's been one of my favorite things to plant and to grow because you get such a nice harvest usually, like unless they all die on you. So let's get some of those.
Oh, this one is harvest.
That one's ready to harvest. I'm just gonna pull on them.
Yep.
Nice. That's a good size. So in here, there are just a ton. Look at that. All of them are just hanging out here. So you can pull on all of those
Okay.
and grab those.
So we can make a salad.
Well, we cook the green beans. We don't make a salad with green beans. You're doing it right. Just grab them.
Like this.
They pop right off.
This.
It's thundering. We'll do it fast. We'll do it fast. You can go inside. All right.
Quick.
Quick because it's starting to thunder.
Yep.
Wow, look at the size of this one.
Wow.
Look at that one. That one's a really big green bean.
Hello, little guy. I'll leave you here to hang out when we leave.
You're gonna leave that one to hang out?
Why?
Jackson, what are you doing back there? So look, there's just a ton. And when they're about this size, I just come out here and get some. And then what I've been doing with them is I cook them with just olive oil and salt and pepper. Put them in the oven for a little bit. Wait, but you gotta be gentle with the plants, okay? And they've been super tasty. So we're gonna see how many we can get here. Do you see any?
Wow.
What? That's a big one.
It's about to rain.
All right, let's check it out. How many did we get?
100 million.
That is so satisfying. That is just the coolest thing. And there's a lot that we left in just because they're still not like as big as some of the other ones. So I'm gonna leave some of them. I mean, some of them we could have maybe gotten, but we're gonna leave them for maybe sometime this week. So these have been growing very well. I don't have like the proper setup for them, like in terms of like trellis. So some of them are starting to fall down a bit, but I can maybe take care of that sometime this week. And like you can see, look at all the lettuce that we still have. Like I harvested the ones that I showed you, and yet we still have so much more over here. And then I had planted some baby ones. Like I succession sowed a few more. This one I think I stepped on sadly, but there's gonna be some more lettuce popping up here. And then I also have Brussels sprouts that are here, and I want to plant a couple more Brussels sprouts. But anyway, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna get to today just because it looks like it's gonna start raining. I wanted to, actually, you know what I can do? I can harvest a zucchini. There's a zucchini in here. This zucchini plant, since it's been raining, like it keeps getting knocked over and it hasn't been thriving as well as it has like in other times. There's also been a lot of squash bugs, so that hasn't been really fun, but I did see over here the other day a giant zucchini. So if we don't get it, then, oh, okay, I don't even know what to do. This thing is massive. You guys are gonna see it. Like, this is the biggest one my garden has ever grown. I can't even, that's the zucchini. Okay, I knew it was kind of big, but I didn't realize it was that big. So let's just do that now before it becomes enormous. You guys aren't even gonna really be able to see me harvest it because it's like a forest in there, but like the zucchini is so big. Okay, so here we are. The zucchini is bigger than my head. I cannot. I'm sure that I let it go a little bit longer than I should have, but I mean, this is a pretty impressive zucchini. It's like a freaking baseball bat. So I'm happy with that. I see another one. Whoa. I thought the bee was gonna land on my head. So I saw another zucchini growing. It's not nearly as big as this one, so I'll keep an eye on that one for this week. But let's take this inside and then see what else we can do around here. So over here is everything that we gathered today, everything that we harvested. Those are gonna be great. So what I do is I take like the stems and I just like chop them off, and then I drizzle them with like olive oil, salt, and pepper. I get like a baking sheet, whatever, from one of these things. Put them there with some like foil. I pan the foil and then I put them on there, put olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I roast them like at 420 for, depends. You kind of have to watch them like 15 to 20 minutes. Just kind of depends on how like dark you like them. But they were delicious last time that we had them. And then these I've been saving to make like caprese, mozzarella, you know, like cutting up the tomatoes with some mozzarella cheese, balsamic glaze, delicious. And then this I'll wash, make a nice salad. And then these we roast too. So I have this one that I had from the garden like last week, but you can see how much smaller this one is. So now that I have two of them, I can chop them up and make them as like a nice side dish. So that makes my heart so happy. All right guys, good morning. It is the next day. I didn't get around to finishing the things that I wanted to finish yesterday because it started to get like stormy outside. So we're gonna finish the stuff today. It's like 10:30 in the morning and the kids have been playing outside. I'm gonna go to the garden in a bit because there's a lot of work that has to be done, especially since it's been raining. Like sadly, I see that there's like some tomato plants that are knocked over. We got some work to do, but the first thing I'm going to start off doing is just watering these guys. So I do have like quite a few plants that I kind of keep, even though these actually, they have a lot of water basically, but I'm just going to add a little bit more. I have a lot of plants that I just kind of keep here on the deck. I'm trying to figure out like how they grow in containers versus how they grow in the garden. But if you're new to gardening at all, like I am, then you may or may not know that like if you've got something that's in a pot, it needs to be watered a little bit more regularly than if it's in the garden, because there's a lot less soil in here, a lot less water that the plants get to keep. So I just like to come out here once a day usually and just water all of these guys. There are like a million bees in here, so I'm always afraid of watering this plant, but I gotta do it. And then this was my lavender. My lavender has sadly deceased. It is dead. A couple of these are still doing okay. So this is a Jacob's ladder, I think is what it's called. Heavenly something, right? Is it? It's called Stairway to Heaven Jacob's Ladder. I really like how that plant looks when it's not like dying off. This eventually I need to move to the garden. Like actually all of these really eventually need to go to the garden, but for now I've just kind of been keeping an eye on them here. Jackson, what are you doing?
I'm touching my paper.
Touching your paper?
Yeah.
Oh, great, with a hole punch. You don't even know how to use that. The kids were out here playing on the deck this morning. They were coloring, so I have like all their art stuff out. But now he's trying.
Have a pumpkin finger.
What? What are you doing?
Pumpkin finger.
That is an orange, Moa. That is a creative pumpkin. Are you gonna help me in the garden today?
Say hello.
All right, so I have a lot of weeding that I want to do, so some of this is not gonna be super exciting. But you see how this tomato plant has been knocked over. I'm going to see if I can save it. If not, I'm going to have to take it off of there so that it's not just doing that. And then just kind of reposition some of the plants. I've got the broccoli that I want to finally take out of here. So broccoli, we already harvested like the main head of broccoli. We do have a couple like little side shoots that are coming out. So like I'll harvest that. Not that that's going to give me much of a meal, but I don't want it to go to waste. So I'll harvest that, and then this entire plant I'm gonna rip out of the ground so that I can put something else in its place. But in between the plants, there's a lot of weeds that I wanna just go in here and just kind of clean up so that I have a better idea of like what's going on. Up against like the raised beds, we have a lot of weeds too that I wanna pull, just so that it doesn't look like a forest over here, like a jungle. When I go to look at like the cantaloupes, there's just a lot of weeding that I want to take care of. This is what I look like at the moment. By the way, I know I look like a crazy person, but it's like super hot out. I don't want to burn my face. So I'm just gonna put the tripod down and start getting something done and see how much the kids let me accomplish. And then we'll go from there. You guys see this thing? So this is that broccoli plant. And because this isn't gonna produce like another head of broccoli, I don't want it taking up space in the garden. So I'm basically gonna put it down at the bottom of the garden so that Joe can later put this in the garbage. And then that way we make room for maybe some more tomato plants or something else that I can still grow during the season. So you see, that's all the space now that I can like take out the weeds that are there and then kind of level that out, fertilize it if I wanted to, and then put something else in its place. You guys are okay. Alright, so we've got a whole bag of weeds, just weeding some of the stairs in between the plants. I still have a lot that I can do, but I'm going to try to tackle the tomatoes. So this piece is supposed to be somewhere up here. So if I can get it inside the cage, that would be great because I could save it. I've been pruning these leaves a ton so that they don't turn out to be like a jungle. Still looking kind of crazy, and I probably need to fertilize tomorrow, but some of those tomatoes in there, like the early girl, those are starting to like ripen up. They're starting to turn orange. These though, on these plants, have not been super productive yet. We've got like some baby ones, like some teeny tiny little tomatoes. This one's a little bit bigger, and there's a couple down here, but I would like to see more of them. At some point, I'll come in here and maybe prune some of these leaves. This pumpkin plant, though, I'm gonna need to reposition because it starts over there and it's starting to come up like on the corn. So I'm probably gonna have to try to be gentle with it and place it on the floor. This is just gonna be like vines like crazy over here. And then this is the watermelon plant. So every once in a while, I have to kind of like put them back where they belong, but there are some weeds in between these vines, so I want to come in here and get rid of the weeds so that I can see exactly where the watermelon is, and like so it doesn't crowd out the watermelon, because like you can see this thing is a huge plant, and then you see like the weeds start to get tangled in the little spiral things from the watermelon, and I don't really want that to happen, so we're gonna try to avoid that. What you guys got around there?
Worms.
A worm?
Is alive.
Are you sure it's alive?
Well,
A little alive?
no.
Jackson, what does Riley have?
The worm.
A worm?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Red.
Fred? Oh, Fred is, you know what? It rhymes with Fred. A worm? Let's look for some more, okay? So it is super hot out here, so I took a break. I went inside, got some water. So remember that if you're out here doing stuff in the garden, it is super hot. Like I was getting dizzy on the stairs. I was like, kids, we have to go inside. I need water. I need to like just sit down for a minute. So I'm gonna do one last thing, and then I'm gonna just wait until the sun starts to go down. Maybe later when Joe's home from work, I'll come back out here to do some more things, because like I really cannot. But one more thing before I do that. So these were a whole bunch of tomato seeds that I had planted. I think I just planted them straight in this container, if I'm not mistaken. And so I grew them from seed. This is how big they are. You guys can see like all of the roots here. So they've outgrown this little container. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if any of these will thrive where the broccoli was. So each one of these stems is a tomato plant. You see, I want to get these out of here. So I'm gonna very carefully pull them apart and see if I can get like the ones that are looking the best. I'm gonna make a huge mess. Let me see if I can do it actually over the balcony so I don't make a huge mess. But I'm just gonna try to break these apart really carefully. Okay, so you see essentially each one of those like stems is its own tomato plant. So I'm gonna look for the ones that have like the best established like root system out of the ones that I pulled apart. There's a couple that, I mean, I may have killed all of these. These may not work in the garden, but I'm gonna try. Like you see that one, the roots are like super long. So I'm gonna take some of these and put them where the broccoli was, and then hopefully they'll continue to grow, and then we'll get like big tomato plants like the ones that are already in there. Jackson, I'm coming back inside in just a minute. All right, so there we go. That's the idea. The idea is that here, where the broccoli was, we've got 2 tomato plants. I did this one as a double stem to see how it grows. Like I put 2 of them in one spot. That one I put on its own. So later I'll come out here and I'll put like some liquid fertilizer. I should water them in right now, so we'll see if I do that. But we'll keep an eye on those and see if maybe they will turn into tomato plants like these. All right guys, so it is way later. It has been a weird day out here. So it's been super hot, but then it was raining a little while ago. So hasn't been the greatest day for doing garden chores. So now that the sun has started to go down, we're gonna do, I think, one last thing, and that is planting some of these Brussels sprouts in the garden. I'll show you guys the weeds that I picked because I have to still put them in a bag. And I was able to get quite a bit of weeding done today, which makes me happy because now it's not like a huge jungle, even though there still needs a lot of like work to be done still. But we made progress today is what I'm trying to say. So that is good. So I'm gonna put these down here really quick because we're gonna probably put some of these, I don't know exactly where, but somewhere in this general area. This is where I have the Brussels sprouts that are like actually in the garden here. So I'm thinking of maybe putting them kind of like so that they stay together. But these right here, these are all the weeds that I pulled. I've got bags of weeds. I need to put them in the trash because the trash goes out tonight, but was able to do a lot of the weeding alongside the raised beds there. So I still have like some in the corner, and I can probably do the same thing like over here, like get all the weeds that are on the side. But this was really like the place where I was having the hardest time like walking through, because between the zucchini leaves and all of that was here, it made it really difficult to come to this part of the garden. So we did that. That makes me happy. I do though think sadly that this zucchini plant over here is not doing well. You see, like there's this whole piece of this zucchini plant that has died. So we're just gonna put it with the weeds. I think that was like the only part that was kind of not doing the greatest. So I'm just gonna make sure that there's nothing else that we can get rid of. You see, like this leaf is like bent, so I might prune that one and just get it out of the way. I have come in here quite a bit and like pruned some of the like leaves, and I try to get them closer to the base, but that one I did not get close to the base. There is one zucchini all the way back there. Can you guys see it? I might leave it like another day or two. I wasn't sure if I was gonna harvest it yet, but that one is growing back there and I don't wanna forget about it. See how this cantaloupe is doing. Have I told you guys that there's like 4 or 5 cantaloupes here in the garden? This is like the biggest one. Well, like the one that's been growing the longest. And then there's that one. And there is one over here. Actually, there's like a little one that's growing there. And another one here. I've been super impressed and happy with like the cantaloupes that are growing. So we've got quite a few there in the bed, and that's 2 cantaloupe plants. So hopefully those will get bigger. Super happy with that. I'm gonna grab my shears. Like something else, like there's always like these different things that you can do, like so many different chores to kind of maintain your garden looking as nice as it can. Like all of these like kind of dead leaves, I could just snip those off, and I maybe later today. But I have like 4% left on my battery, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to capture today. We could definitely do some pruning, like anywhere that there's not a fruit. Like I could come and like snip this branch if I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more contained there. And like I've done that a bunch before. You see, like I've snipped a bunch of this plant to kind of focus the energy of producing to like the tomatoes that are in there. See, this leaf over here is bent, and this one is from the pumpkin, so I could maybe prune that one. And I'm probably gonna also have to remove this pumpkin plant because I had put a second pumpkin plant in here, and I don't think that that's gonna have anywhere to go, because you can see like this pumpkin is all one plant. So I think that one is gonna have to just be pulled because I don't have space for it. All right, let's plant some Brussels sprouts really quick before the mosquitoes eat me, okay?
Okay.
So what I think I'm gonna do is, I have some peas that are growing back there, but they haven't been doing very well. So I might just put the Brussels sprouts kind of like in their place, not totally rip them out of the garden just yet. I might give them just like another week or two. But I have space in that area where I can put some of these, and that way they can continue to grow. Because Brussels sprouts, Joe and I love Brussels sprouts, so I'm hoping that we'll get some of those. But I gotta be quick because literally like there's like 15,000 mosquitoes and they are all coming for me. You wanna go inside? Well, you can, Riley. See, I'm trying to do this fast, but we're just taking it out of its little pot. And we're just gonna put it right in here, and hopefully it'll have enough space to grow. And again, this week we'll fertilize, and we'll just make sure that it's getting more nutrients, but at least for now it'll be there in the earth. And then this is a weed. This does not need to be here. So we'll have one here, and then we'll put the other ones kind of like over here in this general area.